الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم قال فاذهب فإن لك في الحياة أن تقول لا مساس وإن لك موعدا لن تخلفه وانظر إلى إلهك الذي ظلت عليه عاكفا لنحرقنه ثم لننسفنه في اليم نسفا إنما إلهكم الله الذي لا إله إلا هو وسع كل شيء علما كذلك نقص عليك من أنباء ما قد سبق وقد آتيناك من لدنا ذكرا من أعرض عنه فإنه يحمل يوم القيامة وزرا خالدين فيه وساء لهم يوم القيامة حملا يوم ينفخ في الصور ونحشر المجرمين يومئذ زرقا يتخافتون بينهم إن لبثتم إلا عشرا نحن أعلم بما يقولون إذ يقول أمثلهم طريقة إن لبثتم إلا يوما صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Surah Taha. This is the last few ayat that talk about the story of Hazrat Musa in this surah. Last night we had read that Samiri he said that I had saw Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam, the angel of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who was sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or a Rasul, and I had picked up from under his horse's footsteps. So under this ayah Hakimul Ummat Mashur Thani has written that see, Samiri was a munafiq and he was using his kashf for spreading nifaq and spreading shirk. So these extraordinary things, kashf, seeing the unseen sometimes or doing something extraordinary, that is no proof of anybody being pious or close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That happens to even kuffar as well or munafiqeen. The other thing is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it such that when the people Bani Israel were crossing the Red Sea, Samiri was part of that group and he was not destroyed or drowned. And this is the ruling of Sharia and the Sharia of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as well, that munafiqeen, when they hypocrites who are not really believers but they are showing off that they are Muslims, they stay intermingled in the society and they get the benefits of being a Muslim. And the Sharia tells us to leave their affair with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala until and unless they come out openly. So Samiri was also part of the Bani Israel and he did not express his kufr or shirk openly, and he got that benefit that the Muslims of that time were getting, the believers who believed in their Nabi, that he also survived and crossed with them and he was not drowned. But when he came up with his shirk openly, then this is what Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam decided for him, that قَالَ فَاذْهَبْ فَإِنَّ لَكَ فِي الْحَيَاةِ أَن تَقُولَ لَا مِسَاسٍ. He said, get out of here, go away from here. Hazrat Musa alayhi salam said to him, it is destined for you that throughout your life you will say, do not touch me, la misas. And the ulama have written that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala turned Samiri such a person that whoever would touch him or he would touch whoever, they would fall sick, they would grow a fever, develop a fever. So before anybody could even come close to him, he start yelling, la misas, do not come, do not close to me, do not touch me. The other thing that ulama have written is that that is also possible, but also it was a ruling given by the Nabi of that time, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, that nobody will talk with him, nobody will touch him, there will be a total boycott. This is the ruling in the Sharia of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam as well about those people who innovate new things in Aqidah. Just like Samiri behind Hazrat Musa's back innovated a new thing of Aqidah and started shirk, that this is the God of Musa as well. So whoever comes up with innovation or bid'ah in Aqidah, what are our core aqaid? Believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His books, His messengers, His angels, the last day, destiny, life after death, Jannah, Jahannam. These things, if somebody comes with something new which is not found in the Quran and Hadith and Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in matters of Aqidah, they are called somebody who is doing a bid'ah in matters of Aqidah. The ruling for such people in the Sharia of our beloved Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam also is that these people will be boycotted. Though nobody will talk to them, the rulings are so severe that even if they are coming, you are supposed to change your way. If they say salam to you, you are not supposed to respond to their salam. Those people who innovate in aqidah. For example, if somebody clearly and openly goes about saying that our beloved Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is omnipresent, present everywhere, this is a bidat in aqidah, because aqidah is that Allah is the only one who is present everywhere. Similarly, all those kind of other things that people come up with in matters of aqidah, then the rulings are very severe and intense for those people. So this is what Hazrat Musa alayhi salam in his time in his Sharia also decided for him. وَإِنَّ لَكَ مَوْعِدًا لَن تُخْلَفَهُ. You have another promise, and it will not be broken for you. And that promise is that in the hereafter he will be thrown into hellfire because of the shirk and the kufr that he did. وَانظُرْ إِلَىٰ إِلَٰهِكَ. And look towards your God, the associate God that you made, that you came up with. الَّذِي ظَلْتَ عَلَيْهِ عَاكِفًا. That God which you stayed devoted to. لَنُحَرِّقَنَّهُ ثُمَّ لَنَنْسِفَنَّهُ فِي الْيَمِّ نَسْفًا. All articles of kufr, for example the idols, or in this case the calf made of gold, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam basically, as much as he could annihilate it, he annihilated it. So he said, look towards it and see what we are going to do with it. We are going to burn it, and we are going to ثُمَّ لَنَنْسِفَنَّهُ فِي الْيَمِّ نَسْفًا. Then we will scatter it thoroughly in the sea. As much as we can annihilate, we will do it. So, and this is what Hazrat Musa alayhi salam did, that they burnt him and burnt him and burnt him. It's not easy to burn gold, but he burned it so intensely with such an intense fire that it was and then the ashes that it turned to, he threw it into the sea. So this is what we are supposed to do as well, that the articles of kufr, the artifacts of shirk, we are supposed to destroy them. This is how the Prophet ﷺ also, when Makkah was finally, the Prophet ﷺ conquered Makkah, the Prophet ﷺ did the same thing, that he destroyed. One of the first few things that he did was that he destroyed all the idols that were there in the Ka'batullah. إِنَّمَا إِلَهُكُمُ اللَّهُ الَّذِي لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُ. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that your ilah is Allah, الَّذِي لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُ, apart from whom there is no God. وَسِعَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ عِلْمًا. His authority and his knowledge, his authority is such that he has surrounded everything with his knowledge. كَذَلِكَ نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ مِنْ أَنْبَاءِ مَا قَدْ سَبَقَ. This is how we narrate to you, the Prophet ﷺ, news or events, certain of them, from what has passed. وَقَدْ آتَيْنَاكَ مِنْ لَدُنَّا ذِكْرًا. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that we have given to you from ourselves a book of advice, which is this dhikr, is also many times in the Quran used for this book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this Quran. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that this itself is a very clear, distinct proof of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam being a true Nabi, that he has the Quran, which tells very clearly and without doubt the stories from the past that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had no way of finding out if he was not a true Nabi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How much time? 8 minutes. One more I will do. مَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْهُ فَإِنَّهُ يَحْمِلُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وِزْرًا. This Quran is such that whoever turns away from it, and the ulama have written that turning away from the Quran is of multiple levels. One is that somebody does not believe in the Quran at all, but also this applies to those people who do not care ever to read the Quran in their lives, or who do not make an effort to learn how to read the Quran properly, or who never make an effort to find out what the Quran is demanding from them, or they know what the Quran is demanding from them and still choose to neglect and do not follow. This applies to all of them. Man a'rada anhu, whoever turns away from the Quran in any of these ways, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from all sorts of punishment. فَإِنَّهُ يَحْمِلُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وِزْرًا. This will become a great burden for them on that doomsday. خَالِدِينَ فِيهِ وَسَاءَ لَهُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ حِمْلًا. And all such people, they will be living under it forever, and how evil for them will be that burden on the doomsday. So this, the next few ayat, they talk about they mention about the hardships of the day of judgment. One hardship that has already been mentioned is that those people who turn away or neglect Quran in their life, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never make us from among those, they will have a perpetual burden on themselves, on the day of judgment, and it will be a very bad burden to bear on that day and also forever. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Rabbana taqabbal minna innaka antas samiul alim wa tub alayna innaka antat tawwabur rahim. Allahumma ij'alna min ahli al-Qur'an alladhi ahluka wa khassatuk الذين هم أهلك وخاصتك الذين هم أهلك وخاصتك ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين آمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.